Be a very quick video, guys, because we are not going to solve this system in this problem, so a lot less work. What we're going to do is work on setting this up, because in the last application I kind of gave you the variables in the system. We want to read through this one critically and be putting our steps together that we outlined in the last one. So the first thing we're going to do is read this problem carefully. It says a furniture store is selling 3 combinations of furniture at deal prices. A sofa and a love seat cost $1,300. A sofa and 2 chairs cost $1,400. And a sofa, a love seat, and 1 chair costs $1,600. Says to define variables and write a system of equations to represent the situation. And then, dun, 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 find the cost of each item. So we've read this carefully. It doesn't have to be in the last sentence, but man, it was. This is what we're looking for. So next up, of course, remember, is to define your variables. And they're likely mentioned in the last sentence of the problem. Now, it doesn't come out and say what these variables represent, but when it says the cost of each item, how many items were there? There were 3. Looks like we had a sofa and a love seat, and we also had a chair. So sofa, love seat, chair, since they're kind of presented in the problem in this order, what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow X, Y, and Z to represent the number of dollars for each of these items, and I'm going to put them in that respective order. So the first thing I ever read about was of a sofa, okay, and then of a love seat, and then last is a chair. So in terms of setting up your variables, pretty straightforward as long as you know what it is that I'm asking you to find. Now, in terms of setting up your equations, if I've got 3 unknowns, I have to have 3 equations. So going back up here and reading it critically, it says a sofa, which we're using X to represent the cost of a sofa, and a love seat, which we're using Y to represent the cost of a love seat, is $1,300. So the way we could write this first equation is this: X plus Y. You notice that we don't have a Z here. I'm going to leave that blank, and I'm going to migrate over here, and I'm going to say, look, this is $1,300. Now our next kind of progression of this sentence here says a sofa and 2 chairs. So when you look at your variables, this is why we define them, because we have to know, well, what is a sofa? Cost of a sofa is X. 2 chairs, well, a chair was Z. The cost of a chair is Z. So we're saying a sofa and 2 chairs, so 2 times Z, has to come out to be $1,400. That means that I have to write X plus, you'll notice where I'm putting my Z's here, plus 2Z equals $1,400. I'm leaving a space for my Y's. We like to line these things up. So then our last equation, it just says, or sentence, it says a sofa, love seat, and a chair cost $1,600. That means we can say that a sofa, cost of a sofa plus the cost of a love seat plus the cost of a chair, X plus Y plus Z, is $1,600. This is what our third constraint would be, $1,600. So this is our system of equations. We found our variables pretty easily. I would actually challenge you to go ahead and finish solving this system of equations here. But the important thing is just knowing how to set this up. For those of you who are going to solve this, let me give you a piece of advice. I would choose to eliminate either Z's or Y's, because you already have one equation that has the Y eliminated in it. You could just eliminate it from these two, and then you have your other equation with Y eliminated. Or I would maybe eliminate your Z's, because you already have one equation that has the Z eliminated. You could just go eliminate it between these two, and then you have 2 equations with 2 variables. Cheers.